Hi, I'm Ginny. I work for our Father, helping people with health and life insurance. Welcome to today's Snapshot podcast.
Nanci works in the radiation oncology department of a large hospital. Many of the patients are very close to death, some receiving treatment for their pain. As a Christian, Nanci's heart and compassion goes out to her patients. She yearned for the opportunity to pray with them and share the life of Christ she personally knew. Her supervisor would have none of this. He made it very clear that any kind of religious conversation or expression of faith was not allowed. He even threatened to dismiss Nanci if she did not follow this direction. Nanci would not be deterred, so she did her own workaround. She joined the pastoral care team at the hospital. That way she could visit some of the patients on her lunch hour to speak to them about Jesus and pray with them while still respecting her boss's wishes. Most patients welcomed the company. However, one young woman in her early 20s strongly rejected her offer. She was very angry, even threw her cup at Nanci to get her out of her room. While Nanci was frightened by the young woman's anger, Nanci was more concerned she would pass away before being reconciled with God. Nanci persevered, stopping by each day for a week. Each time the response was the same. Nanci wouldn't even get a chance to say anything. The young woman would just curse and yell at her to get out. One day, Nanci decided to be funny, standing outside her door with a fake shield she had made. For the first time, the woman smiled and was very calm. She told Nanci to come in, and they talked together about Jesus. Her demeanor changed, and the young woman began to cry. Nanci asked if she could pray with her. She agreed, and was very peaceful afterwards. Nanci kissed her and moved to the next room. She received word later that the young woman had passed away that night.
Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Hebrews 10:23-24.
David Brooks, New York Times columnist, points out in his book about character that there are two types of virtues: resume virtues and eulogy virtues. The first, resume virtues, are knowledge-based, and the second, eulogy virtues, are character-based. Resume virtues in our culture are driven by an economic model: profit-loss, success-failure, and win-loss. All of these virtues are aimed at individual happiness, which are fueled by receiving pleasure. Christianity, when responsive to the working of the Holy Spirit, creates eulogy virtues, which are built on an inverse logic. You give to receive, you sacrifice to gain, you give up what you crave to receive what you desire. Success leads to the greatest failure, which is pride, and failure leads to the greatest success, which is humility. To fulfill yourself, you need to forget yourself. To find yourself, you need to lose yourself. Eulogy virtues produce people who are courageous, persevering, resilient, and generous. They are aimed at others' well-being, which are fueled by giving love. Resume virtues are highly dependent on knowledge and skills. Eulogy virtues are accessible for all.
We also rejoice in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not disappoint us, because God has poured out his love into our hearts by the Holy Spirit, whom he has given to us. Romans 5:3-5.
As Christians, we allow the eulogy virtues to grow in our lives, not by our own ability, but by our cooperation with the Holy Spirit, allowing the very character of Christ to be formed within us. Our part is humility. It's awareness about ourselves. Humility is the knowledge we are underdogs in this struggle and need redemption, transformation, and the ongoing help of the Holy Spirit in the family of God. Think about your own situation. Individuals who are strong in the resume virtues but weak in the eulogy virtues often cause many problems. Conversely, those who may have good resume virtues but also strong eulogy virtues bring a very positive influence to the workplace. They are often the ones that hold things together and have a value beyond measure. It has been said that what the wise person knows and says is the least of what they give. The real message is the actual person and who they are and how they live.
Father, send your Holy Spirit to help me grow more in the likeness of your Son, Jesus Christ. Let me persevere in suffering that his character might grow in me, that I could bring his presence and influence into my workplace.
Snapshot podcasts are a project of WorkLight. For more resources like this one, visit us at worklight.org to sign up for our Flame monthly newsletter and our Workday Spark Reflections. While you're there, be sure to learn more about challenge weekends, small groups, and how to become an igniter for Christ.